Welcome to the video guide for Ciella's Wrath Master, a new Agato Uprising boss fight difficulty released as part of patch 2.0 of Dragalia Lost. My name is Xenozillus, and let's get straight to it. As is typical with master difficulties of Agato fights, most of the moveset of the second phase of the expert fight remains, but with some minor differences. Attacks in master hit much harder, coupled with the unavoidable collapse and vulnerability mechanic. Being hit by any avoidable mechanics can often doom a run before lethal damage even occurs. As with all Agato fights, certain mechanics will be skipped or repeated based on phase progression and remaining hit points. All in all, the master fight hasn't really diverged too much from expert. However, she now has 32 million hit points. You'll have to be on your A game to complete this fight in co-op, before players gradually get more powerful through upgrading their Agato weapons to the final 4 unbinds. With that covered, let's go through the subtle adjustments to mechanics in Master. Karmic Shield now buffs for 15% per cast rather than 8%. This can still be dispelled with a single skill, however. Cryogenic Meteor 2.0 saw the meteor positions change to sets of 4 fixed positions. Master changes this up once again with only one meteor in the center of the arena. Furthermore, note that Ciella will no longer return to the middle of the arena to drop meteors. For Floor of Despair, the wave can now come from more directions rather than just top right and top left as with Expert. It's still handled in the same way, however. Since Ciella doesn't return to the middle of the arena for this set of mechanics, you may find yourself with uptime issues depending on how Ciella is positioned, coupled with the direction of incoming waves. For Frigid Beam, Ciella now pushes all adventurers to the edge of the arena as she begins charging her beam. It's still possible to move into the center in time to follow the beam's rotation, but this makes it more punishing if you've been afflicted with bog beforehand. However, being in dragon form will negate the knockback, and you can still tank the beam with dragon skills as before. For Mist Veil, once Ciella becomes untargetable, 4 coursing raptor ads will spawn around the arena. These will intermittently shoot out tornado-like projectiles, inflicting a hefty 50% strength debuff for a minute if you're hit. It may appear as if the debuff doesn't refresh if you're hit again, but once the first debuff expires, the timer of the new debuff will take its place. Take care of these ads quickly to maintain decent DPS, as well as reduce the number of things you need to track on the screen. The strength debuff can be removed by transforming, so that may be an option to deal with the ads or to remove the debuff afterwards. Ciella also has some new finishing positions added for when she becomes targetable again, but they're pretty close to the original positions and they don't really have too much of a mechanical change, except for perhaps putting the soap spots on top of some ad spawn positions. And that about covers the changes for Master Ciella. Overall, the changes aren't too huge, and some people have taken to saying that it's basically a copy-paste of the Expert fight. If you're familiar with the Expert fight, most of what you'll see is fairly intuitive after the first couple of runs. It's also hard to make unit recommendations following the 2.0 rebalance, but popular DPS units seem to be Gala Ranzel, Gala Leaf, Lignol, Hawk, Louise, and Summer Sonoa. We have both Lowen and Templar Hope able to occupy the healer role, but Templar Hope leaves the team much more vulnerable in the early stages of the fight before his healing and defense buff starts stacking. For DPS units, I've also struggled to make decent use of Midgard Zorma Zero, with mechanics such as the Cryogenic Meteor and Floor of Despair combo, Mist Veil, Frigid Beam, bolts from above, and the frenzied dodging required for rebounding arrows. Maintaining combo can be quite a struggle. This is made slightly easier with the tier 2 buffs of the Wind Agato weapon, with the offensive stance providing a combo time buff, but even this is sometimes not enough. There may be a reason to substitute in a Mena for her combo time chainco ability, but this is something I'll leave you to experiment with. As for myself, well, I've taken mostly to just autoing the fight. The fight is fairly punishing of mistakes in co-op, and a few defensive tweaks to the previous teams used for Expert Ciella will slowly chew down Master Ciella as well, though it won't be a quick fight. I've been using something similar to Brutal set up for my own autoing, so I'll put a card for that in the corner. There's also some whispers of some Veronica and Mitsuba compositions able to clear the fight in about 40 seconds, but as always I haven't really typically covered. Well, I suppose I was the one exception with Karina, but I don't typically cover cheese comps that often. As always, thank you very much for watching until the end. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.